Hello and welcome back to This Day in History. It is July 29th, 2024. And as you know, it's not about the year, it's about the history of the date. Unfortunately, my cell phone holder clippy thing broke, and so I'm sitting my phone on my steering wheel. So, sorry about that. But let's get right into it, shall we? Birthdays, we don't have too many of them. We start with 1805. Alex de Tocqueville is a French political scientist, historian, politician. He's best known for writing Democracy in America, Volume 4. It covers the years 1835 to 1840. Yeah, we're not in democracy. We've talked about this, but yeah. We fast forward to 1883. Benito Mussolini, he's the Italian dictator. He was born on this day. Mussolini was the dictator who allied himself, Italy, with Germany, Hitler. He was known as Il Duce. That would be the boss. 1892, William Powell was an American actor. He was born on this day. 1904, J.R.D. Tata was an Indian businessman, was born on this day. 1905, we see the births of two people. One, Clara Bow, not to be confused with the cartoon cow Clara Bell. Not to be. Clara Bow was an American actress. She passed away at the age of 60 or 61, something like that. She died kind of young. She passed away in 1965. 1905, we see the birth of Swedish economist, statesman Dan Hammarskjöld. He was born on this day. He served as the second Secretary General of the United Nations from 1953 to 1961. He also received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1961. 1953, we see the birth of Ken Burns, and if you don't know who Ken Burns is, he's an American director, but specifically he does like documentaries and such. Like he's done a lot of documentaries for PBS, like Civil War documentaries, just a bunch of historical documentaries. I mean, and his work is very good, very good. So, happy birthday to Ken Burns. So we go back into history. The year's 1588. The Spanish Armada, sent by King Philippe II of Spain, it was sent to invade England. Well, it is on this day in 1588 that they're first sighted off the English coast, or they're sighted by the English off of Lizard Point, Cornwall. 1836, the Arc de Triomphe, I think I pronounced that right. It's one of the largest triumphal arches in the world, is inaugurated in Paris. And if you know Paris, it's that big, huge arch. It's a very iconic arch that, and it's a big symbol. It's like you're entering the gates of Paris. It was very symbolic in 1940 when the Germans rolled right into Paris and went right through that arch there, and it was very symbolically saying, we've returned and we've taken Paris, because they didn't take Paris in World War One. That was 1836. 1858, Townsend Harris, he persuades the Japanese to sign the Harris Treaty. And what this Harris Treaty was, it was an agreement that secured commercial and diplomatic privileges between the United States and Japan. If you've ever seen the movie Last Samurai, it's kind of around this time period. Well, I take that back. It's not quite this time period. It's later. Because I believe Tom Cruise's character played a Union soldier who was in the Civil War, which would have been, quite a few years later. He might have been involved in the Indian Wars, which was even later yet. So, but kind of close. this sets up that. So when we get to that movie, it's like the Japanese and the United States had trade relations for a while at that point. So that was 1858. 1872, Nathaniel P. Langford and James Stevenson, they made the first ascent to the Grand Teton, which is the highest peak in the Teton Mountain Range, and this was in Wyoming. 1890, Dutch painter Vincent van Gogh dies in France 2 days after shooting himself. He's a Dutch painter, very famous for his work. It said that he cut his own ear off or something like that. I don't know. Kind of a nut job. 1913, Albania is formally recognized by European powers as an independent principality following the Vlorë Proclamation. 1954, J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings book series is first published. 1957, we see the International Atomic Energy Agency created. And, I need to turn the page. Sorry. 1981, we see Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer married in St. Paul's Cathedral in London. That marriage would yield two male heirs to the throne, William and Harry. Sadly, they divorced, and Lady Diana was killed in a car accident many years later, 1997, if I remember right. 2005, planetary scientists formally announced the discovery of what is believed to be the 10th planet in our solar system. It was later designated as a dwarf planet, and they named it Eris. 10th. Yet our 9th planet, Pluto, has supposedly been, downgraded to a planetoid instead of an actual planet, but that's BS. I'm from the generation where Pluto was our planet because it was discovered in 1936 and it was our planet. So today's featured event is 1958. NASA. It is on this day, 1958, that NASA is created. And what happened to that is being criticized for allowing the Soviets to launch a man-made satellite into orbit, Sputnik 1. That was in October of 1957. President Eisenhower signs legislation that created NASA, which is the National Aeronautic. I meant to write this down. The National Aeronautics Science Administration, if I remember right. Anyway, they do space in the final frontier. So that is that for this day. I am running way late for the gym. It's going to be like after 1 p.m. by the time I get to the gym. And I have to be at work at 2:30. So I got to get a quick workout on the treadmill. So that's it. That's this day in history. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll do this again tomorrow for July 30th. Yeah. So there you go. Have a good one. Take care. Be blessed. Be well. And we'll see you again.